Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today here on the Yoga by Candace YouTube channel. Really excited to have you here. If you're new around here, I just want to let you know about something we recently launched, which is called Namaste Studios Online. This is our online members platform. So every month I'll be releasing new exclusive content for our members. We have two tiers. The first tier is the basic membership, and for that it's $9.99 a month, and you'll be getting 3 brand new videos every month, and then every month you always have access to previous months. So you get a lot for just a little, paying each month. And then the next option is our premium membership option. It's $19.99 a month, and you get 7 videos. 4 of them are going to be yoga videos. They're all going to be full length, so at least 60 minutes. And then you'll also get 2 workout videos and 1 guided meditation or pranayama video. So definitely check it out if you're interested in deepening your practice and experiencing what Namaste Studios has to offer. That said, I will still be continuing to do the Yoga by Candace YouTube channel, and that's what we're here for today. So I'm going to be doing a hip practice. This is going to be really helpful for people who are having hip issues, and by that I mean like maybe you're having some minor hip pain in the anterior region of the hip, so that's the front of the hip. That often happens if you sit for long periods of time, or you're an athlete who does repetitive motion, like a hockey player skates kind of like that side to side. Also, it can show up, hip issues can show up as tightness through the glutes or the hip flexors, the inner thighs. So we're going to kind of get into all of that. We'll be doing some stretching, we'll be doing some releasing, and some glute activation. So it's not going to be a flowy vinyasa style practice. This is really just focusing on the glutes and breathing as well. As always, breath is really important. So if that sounds like something that would be really great for you, then have a seat on your mat and we'll begin. Okay, so the first thing I want to teach you might sound like it has nothing to do with hips, but it really, really does, and it's kind of the foundation for really great movement and a great yoga practice, to be honest with you. So we're going to do what's called diaphragmatic breathing. To begin, you want to think about being firmly rooted into your mat to start, and feel the grounding sensation through your pelvis. Feel a heavy sensation there. Bring some awareness to the lowest part of your spine, and then as you inhale, try to find length through the crown of your head. And then relax your shoulders away from your ears. And we're going to focus on the ribs, and as you inhale, feeling expansion out to the side as you breathe in. And as you exhale, feel the ribs kind of go in just ever so slightly, returning back to neutral. Now, sometimes when I teach this, people get kind of weird up here. They're like, we don't want this upward movement with the chest. We want to think about expansion out to the side. So take a big breath in, feel that sensation of expansion. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, feel that expansion. Exhale, back to center. This time, inhale, find expansion, and at the very top of your inhale, see if you can breathe into your upper back just a little bit. Can you puff out that upper back the tiniest bit? And exhale from the upper back, and the ribs, and the belly. Another big breath in, feel that expansion, feel the belly get big, the ribs get big, the upper back puffs out. And exhale. So continuing to breathe in this manner while I explain a little bit more. The diaphragm is this muscle that sits just underneath the lungs, and when we breathe in this way, the diaphragm moves up and down, and it gently massages our internal organs, our muscles, through the low back. So if you're experiencing low back tightness, then this breathing may be really, really helpful, because it's almost like an internal massage. So we want to think about that, a 3D breath from the inside. So continue to breathe this way. The other thing to note is that often throughout the day we're just breathing really shallowly due to stress, or the position of our bodies, because when we hunch over, we can't breathe that way. It's literally impossible. So keep breathing big, full deep breaths. And to be clear, you need your diaphragm in order to breathe. So even if you are breathing shallowly, you are using it, but this deep diaphragmatic breath is like intentional movement of the diaphragm and of the lungs, using the lungs to their fullest capacity. So let's continue to breathe like this, just a couple more breaths. You might notice what feels like a stretch at the very top of that. And just notice what you notice. Keep breathing. And we're going to try to invoke that breath as we move through the practice. So the first thing I want us to do is bring the right knee out in front of you, almost like we're going into a pigeon pose, but instead of full pigeon, which would be really intense for us right now, we're just going to take 90 degrees in the left leg. So really look down at your knees and ask yourself, is this angle of my knee 90 degrees in both knees? If it's not, then you might need to walk your foot out or in until you have full 90. Sit very tall, take a big diaphragmatic breath. As you exhale, begin to turn towards your back leg as you maintain the length through your spine and a gentle engagement of your core. So by that I mean, don't suck your stomach in, but gently, gently brace the space just behind the belly button. So it's a gentle, gentle contraction in. And then take your hands and you're going to place them at the very top of your hip here. And you're going to energetically push your left knee and inner left foot into the ground. And as you do that, you're going to feel the inner left leg fire on. So your adductors, those are your inner thighs, they're really beginning to turn on. Now maintain the length through your spine and begin to apply a bit of pressure into the top of the hip. This might feel uncomfortable. You're going to continue to breathe here. Continue to push the knee and the foot into the ground. This is the one movement that I did that really, really helped my anterior hip pain, slight hip impingement. So continue to press, breathe fully. Continue to press and breathe. One more big breath in. Gently begin to release your hands. You're going to lean back a little bit. Be really slow and mindful as you move up out of this. Woo. And we'll take it to the other way. So now the left knee is in front of you and the right knee goes out to your side. Look down and just be sure that you have 90 degrees in the knees. You might need to walk your feet closer to you or away from you. Big breath in. As you exhale, begin to turn to face your right leg. Begin to press your knee into the ground and press your inner arch into the ground as well. You can even spread the toes, that could help. Then take your hands and you'll press them into the top of the hip here. Maintain the length through your spine. If you get a cramping sensation, it's usually not a big deal. It's just a neural reaction. So you haven't done this before, so your body's just kind of like, huh, what's going on? So keep breathing through it. Continue to push your knee into the ground, the foot goes into the ground, and press your hip. And then from here, gently begin to release. Lean back a little bit. Be really slow and mindful as you come up out of it. Whew, good job. So from here, I'm gonna have you come to stand on your shins. And if this feels like a lot for you, you can just take your mat and fold it and then place your knees on it for a little bit of padded support. Knees are gonna be hip distance. You're gonna bring your hands to your glutes and just squeeze as hard as you can. And you can also take your hands out in front of you and turn them into fists. As you squeeze, 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 we're just gonna activate the glutes, wake them up. So as you're here, you wanna think about not dumping into your low back. Don't push your hips forward or anything. You want your hips just over your knees. And then as you're doing this, also begin to bring some awareness to the space just behind the belly button. Gently draw it inward towards your spine and upward towards your chest. Continue to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Continue to brace through your core and squeeze through your glutes. And then gently release. From here, come to lie down on your back. You'll bend your knees and place your feet on the ground about hip distance. Push your feet into the ground until you feel your low back connect with the mat, and then bring some gentle awareness to your belly button area. Draw it in towards your spine without sucking in, and then upward towards your chest. And just hold this contraction here. It doesn't really look like anything to you, but I'm really holding it in. My belly is firm. We're gonna breathe here and hold it in. And then continuing that brace, you can push into your heels to lift your hips about 3/4 of the way up and squeeze your glutes at the top. And then also be sure that you are bracing through your core, drawing in through your core. And then slowly lower down so your glutes are just hovering over the mat, continuing the brace through the core. Remember, pull it in towards your spine and up towards your chest. Continue to squeeze through your glutes as you push through your heels to lift up 3/4 of the way. So we don't want to hyperextend through the hips. We just want to lift and squeeze and also be mindful of the core as we're here. Slowly begin to lower down so the glutes just hover on the mat, hover over the mat rather, and then continuing to squeeze the glutes and squeeze the core, we'll press into the heels to lift back up. And then slowly begin to lower all the way down. From here, you can release, let it go for a sec, maybe even shake both legs out a little bit. And then taking the feet hip distance, knees straight up to the sky just like before. Press into your heels until you feel your low back connect with the ground and gently re-engage your core. So belly in towards your spine, up towards your chest. Keeping that engagement, moving from this center place. Begin to lift your right knee up. And then moving from that same core. Core is in and up towards your spine. Keep that integration of the core as you slowly lower the foot down, and then we'll lift the left knee up. So it doesn't look like a whole lot, but man, is this really working my core, which is going to help support my hips. So we're going to take it side to side, just in this supine kind of marching position. We'll do one more each side. Keep the core in and up towards your spine, towards your chest rather. Last one here. And then you can release the core, let it go. And then from here, we will begin to come into kind of a Supta Baddha Konasana, only not the fullest version of it. So even if you can go really low with your knees, keep some engagement and some tension through the inner thighs. We'll press the bottoms of the feet together. And then from here, peel your head off the mat. You can take your arms like so. You're going to press into the knife edges of your feet. Begin to squeeze your glutes, core in towards your spine, up towards your chest, and lift your hips, your glutes off the mat, and then lower down. Keep pressing in to the outer edges of the feet to lift your glutes up, squeeze them, and maintain that engagement through the core the whole time. Be really mindful with this movement, because as you come down, there's a tendency to release through the core. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Great job. Begin to lower your head down, and you can step your feet back onto the mat. Press into your feet to connect the low back to the ground. Draw the core in towards your spine, up towards your chest. I apologize that I keep saying that, but it's something that, it's a cue I think we don't say enough of, and it's a thing I think most people don't do. So we have to be really mindful that we're actually doing it. From here, we're going to press into the left foot and lift the right foot as well as the hips up off the ground. Now you can lift your left toes as well. Press into the outer edge of your left foot and the big toe mound. So that's like the joint underneath the big toe, below the big toe, and press into the heel. Feel your arch lift. Squeeze through your glutes. Hips are even, core is engaged. Keep the core engaged and lower down. And then we press into the right foot and lift up. So now we're kind of doing this marching sensation, this marching exercise, only with the glutes lifted. Tuck your chin for a nice long neck. Keep the core engaged the whole time. 1 more on the left side. And then lower down. Good job. From here, roll over onto your right side. Place your right forearm down, right elbow underneath the shoulder. Look down at your legs. You want to bring your knees together, and if you are looking at yourself overhead, the knees are at about a 45-degree angle. Hips are in line with your elbow. You're going to press into your forearm and your lower leg to lift both the hips and the top leg up. Lower down, hips and top leg up, spread the top toes. Lower down, lift up, lower down, and lift up. Good job. Taking it over to the other side. Once again, elbow underneath shoulder, hips in line with the shoulder, legs 45 degrees. Press into the forearm, draw the shoulder blades towards one another, integrate the core, press into the lower leg, lift up, spread the toes. Lift up, lower down. Lift up, lower down, 1 more. Lift up and lower down. From here, come to lie back down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And then lift your legs so your shins feel like they're parallel to the ground. From here, we're just going to take the fists together and place them in between the knees. Squeeze your fists with your knees, and then open up your shins out to the side like your legs are like scissors. So keep squeezing the fists together as you open up, and then go back so that the feet are hip distance. Ankles come out to the sides. Knees turn inward, go back to center. Be mindful of your core, in towards your spine, up towards your chest. That transverse abdominis activation, TVA, out to the side. Now hold it here and keep bringing your ankles towards your face. Now this gives you some information. You know that if one side isn't as open as the other, that's probably the side to watch. Squeeze the fist, draw the core in, press, press, press with the ankles. Woo, and release. From here, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and then you can keep your hands just like so, and draw your left leg in towards your chest. Energetically press this right knee away from you. Come back to your diaphragmatic breath. And then unravel the legs. We'll take it to the other side. Spread the toes. Use your right leg to draw the left shin in towards your body, but then energetically push your left knee away from you. Unravel the legs. Shins are parallel with the ground. Gentle activation of the core. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest and then out to the side, trying not to lean over to one side. And then out and long and in back to center. Now go out away from you. You can keep a micro bend in that knee, a little bend in that knee, out to the side and then back in. Into the chest, out to the side, out away from you, and back in. Reverse, out away from you, out to the side, into your chest, and back to center. Let's do the left side. Left knee comes in, out to the side, out away from you, and then back in. Out away from you, out to the side, into the chest, and back to center. Into the chest, out to the side, out away from you, into center. Out away from you, out to the side, watch your core, into the chest, back to center. And then from here, you can take your hands to the tops of the shins. We'll open up for supine frog pose. Keep your knees about 90 degrees, your feet flexed. And then press your knees together, hug your knees into the chest. Little rock side to side can feel nice. And then bring your hands underneath your knees, rock and roll to sit up. And come to a comfortable seat, bringing your hands to heart center. Close your eyes and just take a moment to acknowledge your practice. Acknowledge how you feel. And then set an intention for the rest of your day. When you're ready, seal in your practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope this was helpful for your hips. Be sure to check out Namaste Studios online. I'll put the link in the description box if you'd like to check it out. And I will see you very soon here on the Yoga by Candace YouTube channel.